This is the Brunei business class. Quite enjoying myself. Some people say I'm a terrible passenger. You can hear the prayer they play before the flight. It's not too bad. The main course just arrived. Rice is a bit dry. So you like it rough?
I like it. Yes, I like it rough.
This is probably my least favorite. It is. The load here is very light. Speaking of business class service in economy class, I really love the food. So guys, hello and welcome to my very first flight review of the year, and I picked a very special airline because I'll be flying Royal Brunei on their 787 Dreamliner in business class. It's one of the longest flights departing from London Heathrow. It's a little bit more than 12 hours, 13 hours, depending on the winds. And Royal Brunei made headlines a couple of years ago when they landed a 777 with a female-only crew, and by this time driving a car was still prohibited in Saudi Arabia. So I know very little about Royal Brunei. It has a very small fleet. I think only 14 airplanes, but they operate a lot of flights between London, Brunei and Australia and around Asia. So I've heard a lot of good things. Also, something you need to know is that Royal Brunei is a dry airline, so it means they don't serve alcohol on board. But I've heard if you bring your own champagne, wine or whatever it is, it's not an issue. You are officially allowed. So I think I'm going to show you the lounge now, because Royal Brunei uses the Gulf Air lounge here at London Heathrow, which is very nice, very quiet, yeah, can't wait to experience this lovely product on a very long flight. So let's go check out the lounge and then we head to the gate. Oh, hello Malaysia Airlines. Alright, this is the economy class of Royal Brunei 787. It has 236 seats in total, which come in a 3-3-3 configuration. And as you can see, every seat has a personal entertainment, a USB slot to charge your device, a foldable table, and decent legroom. Otherwise, it seems to be very comfortable. You get a pillow, as well as a blanket. It's not too bad. So this is the Royal Brunei business class, which comes with 18 seats in a 2-2-2 configuration. This is probably my least favorite on the Dreamliner. It's very similar or identical to what I've flown on Kenya Airways. So, but allow me to give you a little tour of the seat. And as you can see, all the seats are forward facing. And the first thing I probably noticed is that the screen is a little small. I like the colors, it looks very nice. Big, nice pillow. You've got a reading light here. And there's an amenity kit, which I'm going to show you a little later. However, there's already a bottle of water. You've got the remote control to operate the in-flight entertainment, USB slot, and power outlet. And the foldable table is just kept here. Got a bit more storage space, and my favorite thing on an airplane, slippers. That's really good. It's going to be like almost 13-hour flight, so you'll probably need them. Otherwise, first impression, the crew is super nice. They all have a nice smile on their face. They're very welcoming, and I'm very much looking forward to the next 12, 13, 14 hours. Be interesting. I also received those noise cancelling headphones, which look very fancy. So while I'm enjoying my welcome drink, you can hear the prayer they play before the flight. Similar as Saudi. Remember my Saudi flight? They had a little prayer as well. But this one is pretty long actually. While we're on the ground, let's have a look what we have inside this amenity kit. The all-time classic socks, eye shades, moisturizing cream, as well as lip balm. I guess it's lip balm. It is lip balm. A toothbrush. We are half an hour into the flight. We just reached cruising altitude, and I thought it would be a great idea to introduce the in-flight entertainment. The problem is with the forward-facing seats is that you're fairly far away from the screen. A problem I mentioned a few times, and the screen is fairly small. However, what I also figured out, it is not as responsive, so it is actually really hard to operate it. I think it's a bit better if you use the remote control. And yeah, so they have quite some choices. Also some new movies such as Bohemian Rhapsody. I watched it, pretty amazing. Great performance. And The Green Room, which won Best Picture. I've seen it here as well. I'm always happy because the amount of flying I do, I usually run out of movies to watch, but here I see there are a few new movies I haven't seen yet, which is pretty good, especially on this 13-hour flight. And as I said in the intro, that Royal Brunei is actually a very small airline. They only have 14 airplanes, if I'm not mistaken. 5 or 6 of them are the 787 Dreamliner -8. So the smallest version there is available of the Dreamliner. And then they operate the narrow body fleet, consists of Airbus A320neo, which is the newest version of the 320. And my intern, Mr. Alvin, has recently reviewed the Airbus A320 of Royal Brunei from Hong Kong to Brunei. So if you want to see this, check out the video right here or in the description below and see what their regional product is like. As you can see, the main course just arrived. I decided to have the catch of the day with a bit basmati rice, and then there is also some green beans and some more vegetables, and it's going to be spicy. But we actually had quite some choices on the menu. For the starter, I had the smoked salmon, which was great, fresh and delicious. And for the main course, you could either go for the beef, the chicken breast, the fish, or the local option. And then later for the desserts, you have a cheese platter, ice cream, pudding, sliced fruits, chocolate, tea and coffee. Yeah, and during the flights, you can have a couple of snacks, such as instant noodles, great, right? And a sandwich. And then later, there's going to be a brunch, a few hours prior landing in Brunei, and also have quite some options, 4 options actually. You can go for the omelette, stir-fried chicken, lamb, or sweet potato gnocchi. When it comes to dining, Royal Brunei has it all, and it looks great. The presentation is lovely. The crew is amazing. The crew is super, super friendly. Yeah, it's a very pleasant experience so far. So, but now I guess it's time to try the fish before it gets cold. Quite enjoying myself. The food is pretty good. The fish is very fresh. The rice is a bit dry, but this is not necessarily Royal Brunei's fault. But whoever chef who came up with that dish should have added a bit of sauce, because rice tends to get very dry, especially in an airplane, because it's reheated. But the vegetables are great. The fish is delicious. It's a really nice dinner I have here. Oh, and this is the dessert. I have a cheese platter, and something I very much appreciate about airlines is when they serve the cheese in room temperature, how it's supposed to be. Sometimes they come right out of the fridge and it's just not enjoyable. And this is what I like. It has room temperature, so it's so much more flavorful. Something that is going to be weird now is that I'm enjoying this cheese platter without a glass of wine. But as I said, it's a dry airline. You can bring your own if you want to, but still very happy. When you go on an ultra long haul flight, such as this one, which can take up to 15 hours, there's two things that are absolutely inevitable, and this is having a good pajama. Either bring your pajama or fly an airline that gives out or provides passengers with a pajama, because this is making a massive difference. You feel so much more comfortable, and this one is extremely comfortable, and proper bedding. It makes a world of a difference, and they have a pretty nice blanket which is super fluffy, as you can see. So this is gonna be a great sleeping experience. I mean, still 8 hours to go, so I always make sure that you stay hydrated. I had so much water, and that you get a good rest. So I'm gonna go and sleep now, and I will see you guys for the brunch breakfast service. Morning guys, breakfast just arrived. I had a pretty decent sleep. The bedding was amazing. I was very comfortable, extremely comfortable. I haven't had such good bedding in a very long time. A bit more than 90 minutes to go until we get to Brunei. I can't say enough how lovely the crew is, how nice they are. So welcoming, so helpful. They really make sure that everyone, including myself, have a very pleasant experience on this flight. So let's have a bit of coffee so I wake up, and then I get an omelette. And breakfast has arrived, and look at this. So it's an omelette with sauce, hollandaise, asparagus, and I don't know, a bit of chicken and potato cake. I don't know. I'm gonna try it, but it looks delicious. It looks really good. What do you think? there's a pretty light load in economy class, and the crew, instead of pushing a trolley through the alley, they decided to take the order of each passenger in economy class individually, and this is how they're being served. So speaking of business class service in economy class, yeah, the crew is very dedicated. So right now I'm sitting on a preferred seat, which is not quite a premium economy, but you will get like an upgraded service when you sit here. You also have more legroom, you will get priority boarding, and you also get like proper headphones instead of the ones you get in economy class. You will be served individually by the cabin crew, so which means they just bring the tray right to your seat. So it is not like as spacious, for example, or a bit more exclusive as premium economy, as you probably have seen in my Philippine Airlines review, which you should watch, where I flew premium economy for the first time. But if you want to have a bit of a more personalized service, and you want to get on the airplane before everybody else does, and you also want to have a bit more legroom, I mean, this is the bulkhead now, so this is pretty much what it looks like, but then spend a few more bucks if you get a preferred seat here in economy class. As you can see, the load here is very light on this flight today, so you could literally sit anywhere and you will have a lot of personal space and a lie flat, actually a sky couch almost. So it's always interesting to know what the crew does in their spare time. And you play rugby.
I play rugby.
That is right.
Yeah.
So you like it rough?
I like it. Yes, I like it rough.
That is so cool. So while he goes swimming and hiking, and you like to sleep, right? You play rugby, that's cool.
Rugby.
So it's pretty popular in Brunei?
It's popular in Brunei.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's getting, everyone is getting involved.
Yeah? And do you guys like pull each other's hair and stuff?
No, not hairs. It's just all rough, full on.
That is so cool. Who would thought that? Yeah, that's cool. Rugby.
Rugby in Brunei.
How about you? What do you do in your spare time?
Going out with friends, watch movies.
No rugby?
No rugby.
No? So I'm here with the lovely crew, and by the end of the flight I always tell my audience how my flight was with the airline, but now I want to ask you, how was it flying with me? Are you honest?
Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah, they're all making it up.
No.
Some people say I'm a terrible passenger.
No.
I wonder which airline that is. Yeah. No.
We don't know.
But it was great flying with you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
So I want to sum up my experience here on Royal Brunei, and I have been very pleased. While the hard product is very average, I really loved the crew. The crew was going beyond, and they were so friendly and so engaging. It was like flying with friends. They were not camera shy. They were like super proud to work for Royal Brunei, and they all seemed to be like super happy. And it seems like a little family, that's what they told me. So that was the experience I had as well. Everything was very personalized. They really look after you, and it's very genuine. I can't remember the last time I had such a wonderful experience with the crew. That was definitely what stood out for me. Also, the food was spot on. The crew was very efficient, very fast. I also like that you have dine on demand if you want to. The sleeping experience was also really great. The bedding was just very, very satisfying. So overall, like, I didn't even notice that there was no alcohol on board. So I don't think that matters too much when you fly Royal Brunei. Yeah, I would definitely fly them again. I think they're a great alternative to fly from Europe. to Australia, for example, or somewhere in Asia. It's been a wonderful flight, and I can strongly recommend Royal Brunei to any of you guys. You should really try it. It's one of the better airlines in Asia, and they're still quite under the radar somewhere, but they're definitely a top, an A-class airline, and I had a wonderful time, and the flight could have been longer. I could have spent here another 2-3 hours just enjoying the flight, getting to know the crew, and that's what traveling is all about. Royal Brunei, I approve. Royal Brunei has captured my heart unlike any airline before, and even though they have their flaws and there's still room for improvement, I must say that this is probably the most genuine, the most authentic airline I've ever experienced. I think you should give it a try as well and get a bit of a taste of this outstanding and incredible Bruneian hospitality which I experienced on board. So really hope that you liked the videos. If so, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of Royal Brunei, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so, and if you can, please support my Patreon. Thank you for watching, guys.